My dear child, before you move on, before your mind returns to all the things worrying you, I want you to become still for just a moment. Take a breath slowly. You have been carrying so much inside you, more than people realize, more than you have admitted. Some people see you smile, but they do not know how tired you are. They hear you say, "I'm okay," but they do not hear the conversations you have with yourself late at night. They do not know how many times you have asked yourself whether things will ever change. They do not know how often you have wondered, "God, do you still see me? Do you know how tired I am? Do you hear me when I pray?" My child, listen carefully. I see you. I have seen every step. I have seen the days when you kept going without having the strength to continue. I saw the tears you wiped away before anyone entered the room. I heard the prayers you could not even finish because your heart was too heavy. And I want you to remember something today. Silence does not mean absence. Waiting does not mean rejection. And a closed door does not mean that your story is over. Sometimes you think nothing is happening because you cannot see movement. But there are seasons in life when the deepest work happens beneath the surface. A seed does not look successful when it is buried. To the human eye, it looks hidden. It looks forgotten. It looks like something has been placed in darkness, but beneath the ground something is happening. Roots are forming. Strength is developing. Life is preparing to rise. And perhaps that is where you are right now. You have been looking at your life and saying, nothing is happening. But I want you to stop judging your season only by what you can see. You do not know what is growing beneath the surface. You do not know which lesson is preparing you. You do not know which door is being prepared. You do not know which part of you is becoming stronger while you wait. My child, you have waited long enough to understand something important. Your life cannot be built on fear. You cannot spend every day asking what will go wrong. You cannot keep punishing yourself for yesterday. You cannot continue believing that one mistake has destroyed everything I planned for your future. You are still here. And because you are still here, your story is still being written. There were moments when you thought you would not recover, but you did. There were moments when you thought your heart would never feel normal again, but you are still capable of feeling. There were moments when you thought you had lost everything, yet somehow you kept moving. That strength inside you did not come from nowhere. You have survived things that once frightened you. You have walked through days you once believed would destroy you. And now you are standing in a new place. Maybe you do not feel strong. But strength is not always loud. Sometimes strength is simply getting out of bed when your heart feels heavy. Sometimes strength is praying when you do not understand. Sometimes strength is choosing kindness after you have been hurt. Sometimes strength is trying again. And my child, you have tried again, more times than people know. I know there have been days when you were disappointed. You expected someone to stay. They left. You expected someone to understand. They misunderstood. You gave your heart. They did not value it. You worked hard. You were overlooked. You prayed. And the answer seemed delayed. But do not allow disappointment to become your identity. What happened to you is not the final definition of who you are. You are more than the person who hurt you. You are more than the opportunity you missed. You are more than the mistake you regret. You are more than the season that exhausted you. You are still becoming. And today, I want you to stop speaking about yourself as though your best days are already behind you. Do not say, I am too late. Do not say, I wasted too much time. Do not say, nothing good can happen for me now. You do not know what tomorrow can bring. You do not know how one conversation can change your direction. You do not know how one opportunity can open a path. You do not know how much healing can happen when you finally stop fighting yourself. So stop declaring defeat over a story that is still unfolding. My child, there is something else I need you to understand. You do not have to force everything. Not every relationship needs to be chased. Not every door needs to be broken open. Not every person needs to approve of you. You have spent too much time trying to convince people to see the value that was already inside you. You have explained yourself to people determined to misunderstand you. You have given second chances to people who kept giving you the same wound. You have waited for apologies that may never come. But peace begins when you stop demanding from people what only God can give you. Let them misunderstand, let them talk, let them walk away if they choose to walk away. Your purpose is not destroyed because someone fails to recognize it. Your value is not reduced because someone refuses to appreciate it. A diamond does not become less valuable because someone mistakes it for an ordinary stone. My child, I know you want answers. You want to know why certain things happened. Why did that relationship end? Why did that door close? Why did that person betray you? Why did you have to wait so long? Some answers will come with time. Others may never come in the way you expect, but you do not need every explanation before you can begin healing. Sometimes healing begins when you finally say, I may not understand everything, but I refuse to stay trapped in yesterday. That is your next step, not pretending that you were never hurt, not denying what happened, but refusing to let pain control every decision you make. You cannot enter a new season while constantly living inside an old wound. My child, release what keeps pulling you backward. Release the conversation you keep replaying. Release the moment you wish you could change. Release the version of yourself you are ashamed of. You did not know then what you know now. You were learning. You were growing. You were surviving. And now you have another opportunity to choose differently. Do not waste today trying to rewrite yesterday. Use today to build tomorrow. And listen carefully. You do not need to become a different person to deserve love. You do not need to become perfect before you pray. You do not need to have every answer before you take the next step. Come as you are, tired, confused, hopeful, afraid. Come honestly. I would rather hear your honest prayer than a perfect speech with no heart behind it. Tell me when you are afraid. Tell me when you are angry. Tell me when you are disappointed. Tell me when you do not understand. Faith does not mean pretending that life never hurts. Faith means choosing not to face that pain alone. And you have been trying to carry too much alone, that burden in your mind, that worry about the future, that financial pressure, that loneliness, that memory, that question you've been afraid to ask anyone. Bring it into the light. You were never created to carry the entire weight of your future in one day. Take the next step, then take the next one. You do not have to see the entire road. You only need enough light for the next part of the journey, and perhaps today, that next step is rest. Perhaps it is forgiveness. Perhaps it is making a phone call. Perhaps it is finally asking for help. Perhaps it is walking away from something that keeps hurting you. Perhaps it is trying again. Only you know where your heart has been resisting change. But I want you to know this. You are not weak because you are tired. You are human. You are not a failure because you need time. You are growing, and you are not forgotten because your season looks quiet. Sometimes the quietest seasons create the deepest transformation. My child, remember the person you were 5 years ago. There were things you worried about then that no longer control you now. There were situations you believed you could never survive, but you survived. There were lessons you did not understand. Now you understand why they mattered. So do not assume that because you cannot understand this season, it has no purpose. There may be something you are learning now that will help you later. There may be strength forming inside you that you do not yet recognize. There may be wisdom coming from pain you wish had never happened. Do not glorify the pain. Do not pretend suffering is good. But do not underestimate your ability to grow through what life has placed in front of you. You are still growing. And growth is sometimes uncomfortable. There are parts of you that must become stronger. There are habits that must change. There are fears that must lose their authority. There are voices you need to stop believing, especially the voice that tells you it is too late. No, you are still breathing. You are still learning. You are still capable of changing direction. You are still capable of beginning again. My child, do not be ashamed of beginning again. Beginning again is not failure. Sometimes beginning again is wisdom. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit, this path is no longer good for me. Sometimes courage says, I need help. Sometimes courage says, I forgive you, but I cannot continue allowing you to hurt me. Sometimes courage says, I made a mistake and now I will learn. And sometimes courage simply says, I am still here. Yes, you are still here. After everything, you are still here, and that matters. So today, do not focus only on what you have lost. Look also at what remains. Your ability to love, your ability to learn, your ability to pray, your ability to begin again, your ability to choose what comes next. There is still something inside you that has not died. Maybe it is hope. Maybe it is purpose. Maybe it is a dream you buried because disappointment became too painful. But look closely. Is it truly gone? Or have you simply been afraid to believe in it again? My child, you do not have to force yourself to feel hopeful every second, but do not permanently close the door because of a temporary season. Give yourself permission to believe that life can still surprise you. Give yourself permission to heal. Give yourself permission to experience peace. Give yourself permission to be loved without constantly expecting abandonment. Give yourself permission to stop fighting battles that are no longer yours. And if this message is speaking to your heart right now, I want you to pause for a moment. Do not rush. Take one deep breath. Think about the one thing you have been carrying that you need to release. You know what it is. You may have hidden it. You may have avoided thinking about it, but it is there. Now quietly say, God, I give you what I cannot control. Say it again if you need to. God, I give you what I cannot control. Because peace often begins there, not when everything becomes perfect, but when you stop demanding control over things you were never meant to control. My child, you cannot control who chooses you. You cannot control what other people say. You cannot control every door. You cannot control time. But you can control what you do with today. You can choose honesty. You can choose wisdom. You can choose rest. You can choose prayer. You can choose not to return to what destroyed your peace. And one decision can become the beginning of a different life. You do not need to change everything today. Start with one thing, one habit, one thought, one conversation, one prayer, one boundary, one step forward. Small steps still move you forward. And my child, do not compare your journey to someone else's. You see their success. You do not see their private struggles. You see their destination. You do not see every mile they traveled. Stop looking at another person's timeline and using it as evidence that you are failing. Your life has its own journey. Your healing has its own pace. Your purpose will not look exactly like someone else's. Faithful with what is in front of you. Do what you can today. Learn. Grow ret when necessary. Pray again when you are ready. And trust that a meaningful life is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built through thousands of ordinary decisions. The decision to keep going, the decision to forgive, the decision to stop returning to what hurts you, the decision to believe that you are still worthy of a future. My child, I know you want something to change. Perhaps you are praying for peace. Perhaps you are praying for financial stability. Perhaps you are praying for your family. Perhaps you are praying for healing. Perhaps you are simply praying for the strength to wake up tomorrow and keep going. I may not promise you that every problem will disappear immediately, but I can tell you this. You are not required to face every problem alone. There is strength available for today, grace for today, wisdom for today, and sometimes that is enough. Do not borrow tomorrow's fear. Tomorrow has not arrived yet. Do not spend today's strength-fighting problems that exist only in your imagination. Come back to this moment. You are here. You are breathing. You have survived this day so far. Take the next right step. And then another. My child, one day you will look back and realize that you were growing during a season when you thought you were only surviving. You will see how much stronger you became, how much wiser, how much clearer, how much more careful about who you allow into your life, how much more grateful for peace. And you will understand that becoming whole was more important than appearing successful. That is what I want for you. Not a perfect life, a deeper life, a life where you no longer need to wear a mask, a life where your smile is not always hiding pain, a life where you know how to rest, a life where you know your worth, a life where fear does not make every decision for you. You have been in survival mode for too long, and slowly, step by step, you can begin to live again. My child, there is still beauty ahead of you. Do not let disappointment convince you that all good things belong to other people. Do not let age convince you that your life is finished. Do not let past mistakes convince you that you cannot change. As long as you have today, there is still something meaningful you can do with it. Love someone, encourage someone, learn something, forgive someone, take care of yourself. Pray, ret begin. Your life still has value. Your presence still matters. And there may be people you have not even met yet who will one day be grateful that you did not give up. So stay with the process. Stay with your healing. Stay with hope, even when hope is small. A tiny flame is still light. Protect it. Do not allow every negative voice to enter your heart. Be careful what you repeatedly listen to. Be careful what you repeatedly say about yourself. Your words shape your attention. If you constantly say, nothing will ever change, your mind begins searching for evidence that you are right. But what if you began saying, I do not know how my future will unfold, but I will not give up on it? What if you began saying, I have survived difficult seasons before? What if you began saying, I am still learning? What if you began saying, God, guide my next step? That is enough for today. You do not have to know everything. Just take the next step. And now, my child, I want to pray over you. May your heart find rest where anxiety has lived. May you find courage where fear has been speaking. May you find wisdom where confusion has surrounded you. May you learn to release what you cannot control. May you stop blaming yourself for every painful thing that happened. May you recognize the strength you already have. May you find people who treat your heart with honesty and kindness. May you have the courage to walk away from what repeatedly destroys your peace. May your home become a place of rest. May your mind become quieter. May your heart become lighter. And when tomorrow comes, may you have enough strength for that day too. You do not have to solve your entire life tonight. Just breathe. Just pray. Just rest. And remember, you have not been forgotten. You are not worthless. You are not beyond healing. You are not too old to grow. You are not too broken to begin again. Your story is still moving. Your life is still valuable. And even in a quiet season, something inside you can continue to grow. So do not give up. Not today. Take another breath. Take another step. Say another prayer. Try one more time. And if you cannot do everything, do the next small thing. That is enough. My child, I am asking you to carry this message with you today. Asterisk, you do not need to have your entire future figured out to take the next step. Walk forward with faith. Walk forward with wisdom. Walk forward with patience. And when fear tells you that nothing will ever change, remember how many things have already changed in your life. You are still becoming. You are still learning. You are still here. And today is still a gift. If this message touched your heart, write asterisk in the comments as a simple expression of faith and encouragement. And if someone you love is going through a difficult season, share this message with them. Sometimes one kind reminder can help someone feel less alone. Remember this, you do not have to rush. You do not have to pretend. You do not have to carry everything alone. Take the next step, and then the next, your journey is not over. It may simply be time to begin again.